Jacob Kingman found solace in the mundanity of Ames, Iowa, a quaint heartland town unburdened by the accelerated pace of the outside world. Here, pastel-painted houses gathered along tree-lined streets, and families flourished under the simplicity of an uncluttered life. It was here in this tranquil haven that Jacob found a foothold after his world had been ripped asunder. His office, situated above a bookstore, overlooked Main Street, where bustling life pulsed through the city's veins. The private investigator's desk held two things: a picture of his late wife, her laughter frozen in the cruel perpetuity of memory, and a growing mound of seemingly unrelated case files revolving around the town's orphanage. With graying hair and lines of wisdom carved onto his face, he radiated an aura of hardened resolve. His eyes, reflective of years of suppressed grief, bore an innate kindness, a testament to his battle against the innate cynicism that often marred his profession. Money laundering in Ames, he mused to his reflection in the windowpane, tracing the twisting currents of the quiet town. Seems like a bitter wind is blowing. The sharp ringing of the phone cleaved through his introspection. It was Harold Dreyfus, the stout, balding headmaster of the Ames orphanage. Amid hushed tones and furtive pauses, Harold painted a picture of misappropriated funds, cloaked transactions, and a deep-seated fear that children under his care were pawns in a grander scheme. The unease in Harold's voice, akin to crackling leaves in a chilly autumn wind, did not escape Jacob's keen senses. "I'll look into it, Harry," Howe assured, cradling the receiver back onto its hook, his gaze falling back to his wife's picture. Ames Orphanage was an anachronistic structure, a stark, towering edifice cast against the town's otherwise welcoming charm. Its Gothic architecture, veined by the ivy climbing its stone walls, held a silent history. The air tasted of ancient secrets and whispered tales, ones that he would soon uncover. Over the next few days, he sifted through the labyrinth of Ames Orphanage, its hallowed halls echoing the innocent laughter and stifled cries of its inhabitants. Amidst the banality of his investigation, the town underwent a curious transformation. A perpetual mist seemed to have settled over Ames, the wispy tendrils of fog wrapping the town in an eerie embrace. One evening, in a chance encounter, he found himself standing in the orphanage's garden, a place of overgrown greenery and oddly unsettling stone statuettes. The statues, bent and grotesque, seemed almost alive in the diffused glow of twilight. He dismissed it as a trick of light, yet a seed of unease began to take root. As the days melted into weeks, he found himself grappling with the unusual mists and the orphanage's odd ambiance. There was more to the case, more to the town of Ames than he could discern. As the cloak of twilight settled over Ames, Jacob found himself standing before the imposing edifice of the orphanage, its towering spires slicing the evening fog. The structure was a vestige of time, an echo of yesteryears humming with a chilling symphony of whispered tales and untold secrets. His grip tightened around his worn briefcase, the cold seeping through his gloves, a subtle, insidious hint of the uncanny lurking beneath the orphanage's austere surface. Inside, hushed voices echoed through the sprawling corridors. The faint laughter of children, playful yet oddly hollow, carried the weight of a world much older and far grimmer than their innocent minds could fathom. The high-ceilinged hallways seemed to breathe with a life of their own, the flickering shadows casting a spectral ballet across the weathered stone walls. It was here within the marrow of these cold, winding passageways that Jacob began to discern an undercurrent of fear, as palpable as the dampness clinging to the air. The orphanage staff, a motley group of careworn faces, moved with an urgency underlined by trepidation, their conversations laden with hushed whispers and stolen glances. "Have you felt it, Martha?" one of the caretakers asked, her eyes wide as they darted nervously towards the statue-adorned basement door. "Keep your voice down, Edna," the other hushed, a sheen of cold sweat on her brow. "You don't want the children to hear." Jacob's brows furrowed at their exchange, his investigative instincts kicking into overdrive. The money trail had led him into a maze of unease and intrigue, the breadcrumbs pointing towards a truth more sinister than mere financial corruption. His once steadfast grip on reality started to waver as he grappled with the growing list of unexplained incidents plaguing the orphanage. Late into the night, as the moon hung low in the foggy sky, he found himself drawn to the orphanage's basement. The stairs groaned beneath his weight, each step deeper into the gloom, amplifying the chill that danced along his spine. The basement, a forgotten relic of the building, was a maze of cobwebs and dust-laden artifacts, home to grotesque, twisted statues bathed in an unholy, pallid light. In the unearthly glow, the statues seemed to writhe, the stone forms contorted in an endless display of silent screams and unspeakable agony. He blinked, his logical mind wrestling with the sight before him. "Impossible," he muttered, the cold seeping into his bones, creeping into the very essence of his being. As he retraced his steps, each footfall echoed in time with his quickening pulse. The basement door closed with a resounding thud behind him, a firm barrier between the mundane and the uncanny. Yet the shadow of doubt had been cast, the world as he knew it beginning to teeter on the edge of reason. He found himself caught in a slow whirlpool of arcane mysteries and cryptic half-truths, the town of Ames shrouded in a fog denser than any physical mist. Each unanswered question, every cryptic whisper in the orphanage's shadowed hallways, became threads in a web that stretched beyond his understanding, leading him into a realm unseen, an abyss that beckoned him with an unfathomable allure. The quaint simplicity of Ames had ebbed away, replaced by an uncanny pulse that thrummed beneath its familiar skin. The morning sun struggled to pierce through the dense veil of fog, casting an otherworldly glow on the antiquated stones of the orphanage. Jacob found himself lost within a chilling labyrinth of unanswered questions and escalating oddities. Harold, the headmaster, nervously leafed through the orphanage's crumbling records, his fingers trembling with an anxiety that echoed Jacob's inner turmoil. A hushed conversation between them unveiled stories of orphaned children babbling about doorways in the dark and nightmares woven from shadow and silence. The tangible fear etched on Harold's face corroborated the rising dread that simmered in the pit of Jacob's stomach. His exploration of these testimonies led him to the orphanage's older residents, children on the cusp of adulthood, their eyes mirroring the weight of untold secrets. In hushed tones, they spoke of terrifying dreams, where the boundaries of reality melted away, and they found themselves standing before towering portals, pulsating with eldritch energy. Within his investigation's cloistered chambers, Jacob found himself treading the precipice of disbelief and dread. His pragmatic mind wrestled with the children's bizarre accounts, battling the relentless undertow of the inexplicable. Yet the enduring fog that clung to Ames, the unnerving chill that seeped from the orphanage walls, and the twisted grotesquerie of the statues in the basement were puzzle pieces that wouldn't fit within the confines of his familiar reality. One night, curiosity led him to the orphanage's courtyard under a waning gibbous moon. The atmosphere throbbed with an unspeakable tension, the spectral silhouettes of the grotesque statues looming ominously within the thick fog. Amidst the suffocating silence, a low rumble emerged, the ground beneath him trembling with an ancient rhythm. Before his disbelieving eyes, a void opened in the courtyard, a gateway of whirling shadows and crackling cosmic energy. From within this portal, an entity beyond human comprehension emerged. An unfathomable nightmare birthed from the inky depths of the cosmos before dissipating into the pervading mist. The sight was brief, yet it shattered the shackles of his known reality, casting him adrift in a sea of cosmic terror. In the aftermath of this horrifying revelation, he grappled with his understanding of the universe. His once ordinary world was fractured, leaving him stranded within a distorted reality, a pawn in a cosmic game that dwarfed his human comprehension. His sense of self underwent a metamorphosis, the encounter birthing a resilient acceptance within his traumatized psyche. The seed of unease planted within the corridors of the orphanage had grown into an unwavering acceptance of the extraordinary, providing him the courage to face the unfolding terror. The descent into the depths of cosmic horror was not marked by a single defining moment for Jacob Kingman, but by a slow, chilling unraveling of reality. Like the endless mist that clung to Ames, the veil of ordinary existence had been lifted, revealing a hideous spectacle of eldritch entities and doorways to realms that defied human comprehension. Yet, within this maelstrom of madness, he found an uncanny strength anchored in his innate resilience and selflessness. His investigation evolved from tracing a trail of illicit funds to unraveling the threads of an incomprehensible cosmic tapestry. The once secure fortress of his worldview had crumbled, but amidst the rubble, he constructed a bulwark of acceptance and bravery. In the heart of this tempest, he sought out Harold Dreyfus, their shared terror forging a connection beyond the mundane. Together, they rallied the townsfolk, their collective fear woven into a shield of camaraderie. Jacob's words echoed through the town's fog-ridden streets, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. "We stand at the precipice of the unknown," he said, his voice cutting through the heavy fog. "It's a place of fear, of nightmares birthed from shadow and silence. But it's in our hands to fight, for Ames, for our children." As the sun set on the somber day, he found himself standing before the ominous gateways once more. The time for reckoning had come. Guided by an ethereal moonlight, he traced his steps to the heart of the nightmare, the orphanage's courtyard. In the deathly silence, the ground trembled and the portal emerged. From its inky depths, the entities born of cosmic abyss came forth, their forms a grotesque dance of shadows and flickering starlight. The chilling symphony of their arrival thrummed against the cold night air, a bone-deep resonance that shuddered through the fabric of reality. A confrontation with these cosmic horrors seemed insurmountable, but he stepped forth. He challenged the creatures not with weapons of steel and fire, but with a determined resilience that stemmed from the heart of his humanity, his refusal to bow to despair, and his unwavering belief in the spirit of Ames. Each word, each defiant stand echoed against the entities, resonating with a force that seemed to push against their eldritch presence. His refusal to succumb, the collective fear and resolve of Ames's people, wove an intangible defense, a barrier born of human spirit and resilience. The cosmic horrors faltered, their terrifying symphony wavering. One by one they receded, their ethereal forms folding into themselves, fading into the cosmic gateways that birthed them. With a final shuddering tremor, the portals closed, leaving the night in an echoing silence. In the aftermath, as dawn painted the sky with hues of victory, Jacob stood amidst the townfolk, their eyes reflecting the shared ordeal. He had walked the razor's edge of sanity, faced the abyss, and returned. The cosmic fog lifted from Ames, the morning sun breaking through the veil that had shrouded the town for far too long. The simple life Jacob sought had been shattered, but in its place he found a newfound appreciation for the mysteries of the universe and the strength of the human spirit when faced with the unthinkable. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like it and subscribe to our channel, where you can find more similar stories, and click on the bell icon to never miss one. There is plenty more cosmic horror to come from the Eldritch Tales Factory. Stay tuned, and until next time.